Welcome back. Well, tonight we're joined by an author and ghost hunter who has compiled a book about New England cold cases.
The book is called Unsolved New England, 20 cases that rocked the region. Joining us now is the author, Cathy McManus. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hi, nice to be here.
So you have 20 cases here that you've written about, cold cases that have remained unsolved over the years in New England. Why did you want to write about this? Why did you want to compile this list?
I live in a town that wasn't far away from the Appalachian Trail, and we had a missing person, Geraldine Largay, and I thought, you know, we need to get this out there. Maybe someone who was on the trail knows something, so I started to write about that. Fortunately and unfortunately, they found Geraldine. Unfortunately, she passed away on the trail. But so that was a solved case, but there were all these other cases that I thought would be really great if, you know, we kind of brought them out into the public awareness, you know, a little bit more.
So you compiled them, 20 in the book, but we want to focus on the 3 Massachusetts cases that you cover. So chronologically, of course, first up is Lizzie Borden. And of course, every child is taught the poem about Lizzie Borden took an axe and killed her parents. And this was Fall River, 1892. Is it unsolved? Do you think Lizzie really did it? Was she set up? What's your take?
I don't think Lizzie did it. I think that she may have been complicit. There are so many people who could have done it, and my kind of money is on John Morse, which is Lizzie's uncle.
Who was a house guest.
Who was a house guest that night. Abby Borden was killed in the room that he stayed in. And
he had an alibi, but some people think the alibi was too perfect.
Yeah, the alibi is, you know, I was on the streetcar. Here's the name of everybody on the streetcar. Here's the conductor and the number. It was a little too much.
Too prepared.
Yeah.
1892, we're probably never going to know that one. Another many may not remember is the case of the Great Plymouth mail truck robbery. This was in 1962, of course, in Plymouth. What happened with this one?
What happened is the mail truck was going around. They had collected the money from the banks, from the Federal Reserve banks, and they were coming back on Route 3, and they had some very clever thieves who set up a roadblock. Once the mail truck had gone through, they set it up to make it look like the road was blocked off by police and construction, and they diverted all the traffic so that no one was following this truck. There was going to be no one there. And they stopped them as if they were police and kind of kidnapped these 2 mail truck delivery guys. And then they proceeded to tie them up, put them in the back of the truck, and then drive all around the Cape area. But they stopped at all these different sites and dropped off bags of money.
How much did they steal?
$1.5 million.
Wow. Were there ever any clues?
There were clues. They had witnesses. They had a police informant come forward, and they actually had somebody who was going to testify, one of the people who was supposedly involved in the robbery. But 2 days before they went to court, he went missing.
And then, of course, the most famous of them all, a personal passion of mine, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist in 1990. Every few years, you know, there have never been any clues, but the FBI will come out, make an appeal, offer a reward. Do you think we're ever going to find out who took that art? Or at this point, are the people who were involved going to be dead soon?
I don't think it's going to happen. They have Robert Gentile, who they suspect has it. They had a lead that said that he was the one who had it. But they've put a lot of pressure on him, and he spent a lot of time in jail recently. You would think if he knew, or if the paintings were still in any kind of shape, that he would be willing to turn them over if he had them. Hope springs eternal, I think, but I'm very pessimistic about them getting those paintings back.
You write right in the book that you're an investigator for one of the ghost hunting societies in Maine. You cover some of the paranormal events in New England over the years in this book. What's one of the favorite ghost stories that you've come across, either with society or that you cover here in the book?
We did spend the night in the Lizzie Borden house in the John Morse room. And this was the anniversary. This was on August 4th. And I can just remember laying down in the John Morse room, and I actually got what was like an elbow to the side, like someone being like, hey, I'm here. And I'm just kind of like laying there for a minute going,
John?
Right? What was that? And then nothing else happened. So
Did you say the alibi was too perfect?
That's great. Well, Cathy McManus, so fascinating. The book is Unsolved in New England, 20 Cases That Rocked the Region. It's a very fun summer read, and a lot of work went into this. So thanks so much for coming in to tell us about it.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with the book. Thank you so much.